My name MK Chan. So umur, nak tahu umur juga. Okay, umur 55. Okay, so I'm born in Penang actually. So tapi sekarang dari kecil sudah terang ke Kuantan. So now about 6 years old lah sudah sampai Kuantan. So memang rasa macam orang Kuantan lah. So mula kerja kat kilang ni, PI sudah 24 tahun. Yes, I'm married in year 1998. So it's about 21 years now. Marriage is actually very good because the good thing is that you have a partner, and so whatever you do, there's a companion lah, we call it. So for me, it's very good, better than being single. There's a lot of things that people can do for you, like for instance, even the car. I only know how to drive. Even pump petrol, take care of the car, everything. You know, there's somebody else is taking care of it. Okay, quarterly, I think you get to know about it is when I'm, because I have many sisters, I'm the youngest in the family. So when we have the first sister get married, so we see the process. So we know that, okay, there's always a quarterly in the like 2 weeks before the marriage date. So they have all those things. So more or less, that's how we get to know about it, and we heard from our parents when we have first marriage in the family. Okay, so Guatali is actually like a tradition for the Chinese. Like 2 weeks before the marriage date, the bridegroom actually send things to the bride family. So it consists of even the, what they call, a pig. Some in the rich family, they will give the whole pig, and then of course they have goods, fruits, and also they have some food lah. Actually some food, and then also the wedding, what they call that, the money. They give like a kind of like gratitude to the bride's family, especially their parents, for taking care of their daughter. And then now it's like they are actually, the daughter will move over to actually the groom family. So it's like moving out. So it's the money is actually more for the family, the parents. So what they do is that once they give the things out to the bride side, for Chinese is always, people give you things, there's always give back. So what they do is that some, like the pig, actually they will cut the head and the tail and return it back to the groom. And then also like the money, some of them, like they don't want to feel like I'm selling my daughter. So what they do is that they actually take some and they give back some. There's always a return. There's some of the, maybe if there's fruits or whatever, so they will return. So there's always something to return back. So the money, depending on the person, if they feel that I'm not selling my daughter, some they will just take maybe like, if they give 10,000, they just take 1K, and then the balance they return. So it all depends on the thing, but the tradition is they're giving it to you. It's up to you to how much you return. It really depends. For me, it's like the olden days, probably 100% probably they will practice this. But then in the modern days, I think especially for Christian, some of them, they won't follow that anymore because they have church wedding, and also they don't have like 2 weeks before they do this, and then there's more tradition than just Kotale. Even on the day before, they also have, like, I don't know whether you heard of before, like comb the hair and all those things. So all this tradition to me is always dying off lah. So it really depends on the family, and also depends on the generation of the people lah. But for Christian, probably most of them, they won't go through this. Yeah. necessary, but then the more expensive the gift is, it shows the wealth of their family lah. It shows the wealth of the bridegroom side. So normally they will try to like give, especially like money, and they also gold. I forgot to say that, the money, and also what they call jewelry. They will give gold, because that jewelry, all those things will reflect like wealth. So some they will want to give, and you can see that Chinese, their gold are all very big, fat, and all those things. The more you see the bride wearing the gold jewelry, everything on the wedding day, it shows that the wealth of the bridegroom. So all these present that the groom gave, the bride will wear it on that day of the wedding. So when you wear, you see the groom, the bride wearing all the gold, everything. So it usually shows the wealth of the bridegroom. Then of course that would make people like very happy, right? To say that they are so wealthy. They're marrying into a wealthy family.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just a tradition. It doesn't practice it, so it doesn't hurt the whole thing, because it's just steps that they take for the marriage. So if let's say for the younger generation now, this is not important anything, it's just over, because to me probably another 10 years time, probably this is also dead anyway, because I'm not sure the young people will actually want to practice it. Nowadays for Chinese, even they don't even practice like for the wedding. Some we know that every time wedding morning, they go through the wedding ceremony, then after that night time is the dinner. But I think the new generation now, some they say that I get married, they just go overseas. They call it what, overseas marriage. They just go overseas, come back married. So a lot of things, I think tradition, because Kotalai is one of the tradition, Chinese tradition. So I think it will be after a while forgotten by the Chinese if the parents do not instill that kind of value into them. So it can be forgotten after a while. The present and the ampao, those kind of things. So right nowadays they can just don't have to follow the quarterly timing. They can just go to the parents' house and say, okay, I'm giving you this thing, and then the jewelry, the husband and wife, the two person can just go to the shop and choose and everything. So everything become convenient, I think, rather than following the tradition. Not live animal. I'm not too sure whether previously I thought like maybe got chicken and those things, but I'm not sure. If the chicken is actually live lah, but if they give a pig, then it's normally roasted. The whole thing is roasted lah. So as far as I know, I don't remember got live animal, that kind of thing lah. More to it's actually the jewelry, money, and actually the pig. Like I said earlier, is that the troop, the bridegroom troop, the gang lah, they will go over to the lady's house with this hantaran, all the goodies and everything that is sending. So this is something that they bring over. They actually will like there's a not one person, but normally the family, the parents or whatever. Then they will come over to the lady's side. Of course, like you said, I don't know whether there's discussion or whatever, but discussion, everything is already predetermined earlier. Just like how much the bridegroom will give to the thing probably have been talked about already. Sometimes it's that the bride mother will demand. They will demand. They say that because my daughter very pretty, everything, so I may want like 20,000 or whatever. So sometimes it's a stress to the bridegroom also. Yeah. So that is those people that really value and say that I want that money. So this would have been pre-discussed early on before they make that the move to the lady lah. But if nothing was discussed and everything, then it's up to the bridegroom to give how much they want. So all the things that they think they will send to them. So basically the kotalai is just to have that goods and everything sent over to the lady's side to confirm like the marriage of the thing. Yeah, and like I said, when they return back, it's depending on how much you want to return. And when that the mother of the bride will also give all those like what do you call that, the everything for sewing, because they want, like, when the daughter go over to their side, you will do some, like my lady, so do sewing, and then they will hantar like all those clothes, certain clothes, everything, and then also those basin for washing. Last time, the olden days, they used basin to wash their face, everything, so they all this basin, everything, just like moving the daughter over to the other family to make sure that she have all the things, I think. So the mother will prepare all this, so that the bride, the man will take over back to their side, so therefore the daughter to use. So that is the replacement for the what they hantar and go back. Yeah. Dowry, hantaran, Muslim. I think it's basically it's about the same. The hantaran, but I'm not sure about Muslim. When they hantar, I think they also return back things, right? The Muslims. So I think tradition is there. To me, it's about the same. It's also the money that they, but then for Chinese, of course, not just the money. I think Muslim also the same, right? You give also hantaran, but then you also have other things. I see like somebody give shoe iPhone everything. So here they more to like tradition, the food, everything, money, jewelry. I think it's about the same as the Muslim side. Even for Indian, I think they also have dowry. But Indian side is the other way around. I think the lady give to the man, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I think it's mostly for the Buddhists, and also like I mentioned earlier, Christian they will not normally follow, but then it's really also depends on their family, because like Christian, maybe only the bride and bridegroom is a Christian. If their parents are not, then the parent may insist that they have this kotalai, which is actually is nothing harmful to me. Is that it's not really something that you go and pray and whatever. It's just a tradition to for the man to send the goods to the lady. So it should not be like taken out, but then it's all, like I say, it all depends on the tradition, how traditional the family is. But if it's basically Christian by right, they should not follow, they won't follow. For the practical for the children, you're saying?
Yeah.
Young people, I don't think they actually will follow. Yeah, this is not a tradition unless it's really instilled by the parents to say that, hey, this is happening. Younger generation now thinking are all very different. So I think slowly this tradition will die off, because giving money, and also because nowadays the parents are much more well-to-do. So their children are precious. They only have one or two, like Chinese, they normally have one or two children only. So their children are very precious. They doesn't want to be feel like as though they sell their children. So even the man gave the money, I think most of them will not take. Even our generation, like for me, my parents did not take the money. Yeah, so to them it's like, I'm not selling my daughter. My daughter is getting married to the family. So they just take a bit just for like you give me, I must take something. So they take something, but most of it they return. Because eventually it's still wise up to the two children, right? The marriage of the man and wife. So it's not really like parents take money here and there and those things. So with that in mind, I think as you go along, I don't think this tradition will ever continue with the new thinking of the young people.
Alright.
Yep. So in the end, I think that like for Kotalai, it's a tradition. It's actually good to continue to practice, even for the young people. At least I know that it's for Chinese customary. This is actually the one of the tradition that they follow when we get married. So it's not really like out of convenience sake, they doesn't want to do it and all this kind of thing. But I think this is just to keep the tradition alive. It's also something that is good. Especially this is really like a Chinese tradition. Yeah.
All right.